Hello, today we are with Jane from Now Group, and this is going to be our discussion brief so we can, bounce off ideas and come to a final conclusion on what we would like to see in the final production. So Jane, tell us what Now Group is all about. What is it that you guys do?
Okay, the Now Group, we're based in Belfast currently at the minute, and we support adults with learning disabilities and difficulties, adults with autism and Asperger's, and it's really to support them to get the job they want, and to keep the job. So we offer training and employment services, and also volunteer and community engagement. So that's really the background of it. We're initially Belfast, but we're moving out into other areas. Our training team offer courses in life skills. So it's maybe money management or interview skills, preparing CVs, and then our employment team, they'll support our clients maybe in interviews, and then when they get the job, they can go in and support employers and the new employee getting used to the job and familiarising themselves, and then we draw back support. So that's the full broad circle of what we're doing.
Could you tell us a little bit about the JAM card that you have?
Okay, the JAM card, where it initially started, we have clients who would be in training or employment. There was a request for almost like a social forum, because a lot of our service users would be living isolated within the community. So we developed Kidnap Wednesday is the name of the social forum, and really it was a call also from volunteers, because our volunteers were going in and supporting our service users in different roles that they would be doing. We have Now Group also has another social enterprise linked to it, which is Local Catering. So we would have a number of catering cafes where our trainees will train in catering, health and hygiene, customer service. So our volunteers were coming in on a weekly basis and supporting them. But they found that each week it would take a longer or a certain amount of time to build up trust and confidence with the clients. So they had suggested maybe a social forum where friendships and relations could be built outside of this training environment. So Kidnap Wednesday was born, and Kidnap Wednesday meets every Wednesday at the Black Box in the centre of Belfast, and it's made up of adults who are living independently within the community. Some of them will be living with their parents or in supported housing, but it gives them an opportunity to make new friends and break down social barriers or social isolation that they have. So initially it's running maybe now 4-5 years, and there was a small group of adults would have come every week. We didn't know what way it was going to develop, but there was a running theme of feeling isolated within their community. So once the friendships started forming, conversations, people began to feel comfortable to talk about conversations or issues that they were facing living in the community. So the first conversation really was around transport. And one girl in particular had spoke about how she had missed a doctor's appointment that week and her swimming lessons because the particular taxi man who she felt confident and comfortable with wasn't on. He was on annual leave. So that was the starting point of a conversation, that she wasn't travelling or using buses because she had had bad experiences on buses, and it started teasing out other conversations from the other guys who would have attended Kidnap Wednesday, that they felt the same. They felt that maybe they were getting anxious getting onto a bus, counting money, and the busman maybe was in a rush, so they would have taken that as a negative experience and felt uncomfortable maybe getting that bus. As the conversation went on, different services that people would generally use, going into shops and feeling anxious, or going into restaurants. So over the weeks, more and more people were, starting to think about why am I anxious? Where am I anxious? So we decided that this was a common theme that was running through the group. So with a problem, you always want to look for a solution. So the solution came about, again, extended conversations, but someone had come up with the idea of a card, something really discreet, something that people would feel comfortable with. So at that stage, we pulled in more service users, people from training, people from employment, to hold a focus group. We had maybe 30, 40 people that afternoon, and we started discussing the concept of coming up with a card to, and would this be something that people would use. So funnily, at the time, Armstrong, is that right? The guy who walked on the moon, he had just passed away. The guys wanted, they were thinking of a moon card, they were looking Superman cards, different, there were so many different ideas. But I had brought a graphic designer in, and they had honed down two particular specific ideas, and the graphic designer merged it. And that's where the Jam card had actually come about. They liked the colours of it, it related to now the organisation, and then the strapline Jam, just a minute. Because that's what people kept asking when we were saying, what is it you're wanting? You know, what is it? Do you want the question repeated? Do you want, and says, no, we just want a minute to let that out. As simple as that. So the flip side of the card, then again, that was another focus group, a number of focus groups, to hone down what was the message, what was the specific message. So at the back of it is, please be patient, I have a learning disability. And that's as simple really as it was. We had secured a small pot of funding from the PSNI at the time, which was around community relations, and that allowed us to design the card, and I think we got 500 cards produced. The group of guys at Kidnap Wednesday then volunteered, and they went around 300 businesses within Belfast, and we have small decal stickers that'll go in the front of shop windows, and really that alerts people that the shop or the business is on board with the Jam card. So the service users themselves took ownership of the card. It was a very, very cold winter 3-4 years ago, and I can remember them being soaked, but they trudged on, they went through, asked to speak to managers, explained the Jam card. We had a small A4 information sheet that went into, like a staff room. Yeah. So the staff were made aware of, and from that there was more businesses were asking for more information, so we would have given small or short disability awareness training. So that staff within the businesses around Belfast were trained on disability awareness and to be aware of the Jam card. So that was the initial start of the Jam card. There was 500 cards given out to people who would be using them, and about 300 businesses at that time. Then we contacted TransLink, because that was one of the main services that our guys were using, and we worked alongside with TransLink, and they then they trained all their bus drivers to give out information on the Jam card, and then we done a photo shoot with them and a launch around the Jam card. It was Disability Awareness Week, so we had done that. The news started to spread, so other services like the big taxi firms in Belfast would have been Phonacab and ValueCab. So again, we delivered training to Phonacab, and they would have purchased a number of the, because they were purchasing the training, that allowed us then to buy more cards and get them developed so we could be handing them out further. So at the minute, we would have possibly, I think it's 2,500 cards.
So people can come to the Now Group building and pick
and
up
get
some.
them.
Yep.
Yes, and at the minute, really, what's happening is we're getting a number. It's all we've information on the website, so we are getting requests, email requests in from different organisations who work with adults with learning disabilities and difficulties and feel that the card would be beneficial to them. So they'll email me and I'll go out and give them a broader understanding of where the card was developed, how and how also disability awareness, and then we'll issue the cards. So at the minute we have cards going out to Fermanagh, Enniskillen, Cookstown, Dungannon, Coleraine, there's cards going to, and now we're here in Derry. So as I said, we're based in Belfast. The requests are coming through by email or by phone call, and then when we get a request, that's when we'll come out, and we have service users who will go and give a presentation of how they actually benefit from the card. So it's real life situations, and that seems to work. That seems to work a lot better. So that's where we are at the minute with the Jam card. We've more businesses coming on board, and we're really the awareness is building. So we just need to keep on top of that.
Okay, Jane, where would you like to see this project going, in what direction?
Well, really learning from what we have done so far in Belfast, we have informed. It's twofold, because the businesses are being informed and coming on board, and then that allows more people who need the card really to access it. So we have, as I've mentioned, we're in Belfast, there's small pockets of it going to Enniskillen and Fermanagh. So now that we're here in Derry, as I've mentioned, with using technology and using the experience that we have had, a range of videos, information videos, really explaining the background of the Jam card, how it can be used, and how businesses can be tied in with it.
No problem, thank you.
Okay.
And what would you like to see featured in the production?
Really, well, I'll have a number, I'll have different, photos and press releases that'll lead up into the background of it, but ideally the key message will be maybe, let's say, how the Jam card's used. If it was being used maybe on buses, or so if you had an actor or something, that you have small clippets of showing everyday life and how the Jam card actually can be used and the benefits of it. Yeah. Okay, so now we've come to Derry, and we're hoping to make a series of information videos that will be able to help raise awareness about the Jam card, and hopefully help it be disseminated throughout the community. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be linking with the students of Northwest Regional College, who are going to help make these videos and really use their expertise and their talent to get the word out across social media, Facebook. Even within the college, there's 11 colleges, 25,000 students, and also we're hoping to get it sent out through local schools as well.